No, since the war, I've lived in France, in the southwest, and now I want the painting back.
Did you lose all your family in the Civil War?
When they came for us in 38, I fled with my mother, but my father was not so lucky.
I'm sorry.
I would have stayed and fought for freedom, but I was just a boy.
You've got my attention, but if I'm to help you, I need more to go on.
I have something. This old photograph. It is of me and my family. See the painting above the fireplace?
Yes, it's La Malédiction. The photograph suddenly appeared to link the old man to the painting.
You took the photographs at that robbery, huh?
I did, yes.
I need to see them.
Why?
Please, I must see them.
All right. Here they are. This one was rejected. George got in the way. Typical.
Who is this George?
Just a friend. He insured the painting.
So, he will know who is this liar who claims to own my painting.
I don't think he does. He would have told me. This is the best shot I took. They used it in the paper.
Yes, it is how I recognize La Malédiction, my painting.
It does look like the one in your photograph.
So close, but now it is lost again.
Here's the thief making off with the painting.
What is that tattoo on his arm?
Looks like a skull and crossbones. Headhunters, hmm?
You will find him, and then you will find my painting.
I can try, monsieur.
You must, mademoiselle.
This shot didn't come out too well.
It's perfect.
Perfect?
Finally, La Malédiction, in all its splendor. The lines, the color, the detail. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Then take it. That shot is no good to me.
Really? Thank you, mademoiselle.
Marquez's story was very interesting, but I needed to corroborate it. I wondered if the gallery kept ownership records. And while I didn't wholly trust him, this was the one lead that I didn't want to lose. Where are you staying?
What? Nowhere. Here, perhaps.
I didn't want him to stay in my apartment. There was another solution. My neighbor is out of town for a few days. You could stay there.
Yes, that would be good. Thank you.
Great, let's go. Adam said that he would leave the spare key under the mat. My neighbor had left a key for me, which reminded me I hadn't watered. The key wasn't there. The gap was wide, but using the sticky chewing gum, I was able to fish out.
This will do.
Glad it's up to standard. I have to go out, monsieur. Ronnie had promised me the front page if I got an interview with the painting's owner. And he was a crazy Spaniard claiming to be just that. I needed to find out who had put the painting up for sale. Maybe there was more to find at the gallery. Lane was sitting outside the cafe. He looked dazed. Hello, Monsieur Lane.
Ah, the delectable Nicole Collard, super sleuth. How may I be of service?
I was hoping I'd find you here.
Always available for a lovely lady such as yourself.
Henri's death, it must be so very hard for you.
Yes, I shall miss him deeply. We had such a very special relationship. The loss is so hard to endure, even for a man of such inner strength.
What do you know about the...
That was Henri's business. He...
Would anybody else know anything?
Not likely. But he always kept a manifest.
I'm writing a follow-up piece.
Ah, so you need...
Something.
The police have finished in the gallery. We could... more... I might even be able to rustle up...
Maybe later.
Maybe next.
You mentioned a manifest.
One might start in the office.
About the...
Of course, my dear. We can go there now.
Thank you, Monsieur Lane.
At your service.
I needed to get inside, but the door... Hello, Monsieur Lane.
Well, hello again.
You... About...
Of course.
That sounds great.
We can discuss my ordeal over a glass of champagne.
A cozy chat with Lane was the last thing I wanted. But it was my best hope, if I wanted to get a look around the office. So, what are we waiting for?
After you, my dear.
The place was heaving with junk. Finding what I wanted wouldn't be easy. As Lane sat down, something stuck out from beneath the cushion. It looked like a folder. Whatever it was, the police had missed it. I needed to get it.
Come, join me on the... You will be gentle with me.
Oh, I'm never gentle.
Oh. Oh.
Lane hadn't noticed the folder. With that amount of padding, the only way to get hold of it was... If I tried to reach across, I'd touch Lane's leg. Ooh. Monsieur Lane?
Hector.
So you really don't...
I'm sorry.
I see Henri had a statue.
Yes, for a man. Nevertheless, I shall miss him.
What will happen to the...
Henri's widow will decide, poor soul.
Oh, I'm sure. Is there anything you can tell?
It was an absolute treat to come across it.
There's no denying. What can you tell me about the...
Of course, there is a deep religious symbolism lost. Central to this must be the
Oh, Hector.
But of course,
I managed to...
What a...
That's what I... So you really don't...
I'm sorry.
Don't you think it's a bit awkward in here with...
Just ignore it, my...
What can you tell me about...
As I said,
So you really don't...
I'm sorry.
What can you tell me?
As I...
To new friends.
To love. Oh, mon Dieu, that is so cold!
Oops, silly me. I am so sorry.
I'll have to dry this off. Don't you worry, my dear.
In the folder was a list of all the paintings in the exhibition. It was. And next to it was the police had obviously not... I had what I needed. Monsieur Lane, thanks for everything.
Ma chérie, no need to leave so soon. It's only a little spillage.
And I found out who claims to own La Malediccio. Some guy named... Sounds Russian, right?
Medovsky, my God.
Who is he?
He's new on the oligarch block. Fresh into London from Russia, with ambition and a bloody reputation. Collard, this is way over your head. I'm gonna put a more experienced crime journalist on the story. I can't afford for you to get hurt.
Relax, Ronnie. This is my story.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Ronnie didn't trust me on this story, but I wasn't going to let him give it. I was going to have to... Come in. Hi, Georges. Great to see you.
Hope you don't mind me just dropping in.
No, not at all. How are you getting on?
Pretty good. I found the gun that was used in the robbery.
I'm impressed.
Yeah? Well, Nave wasn't. He accused me of trying to plant it, and then of being involved in Henri's death. Then he threw me into a cell. He couldn't make it stick, of course, so he had to let me go this morning. But he's convinced I'm involved. So if I put a foot wrong, he'll nail me next time. But, hey, on the bright side, have I got a story for you. Annette, the manager at Vera Security, lied about the owner of the company. When I pieced together that shredded letter, I got a name, Medovsky.
Medovsky! That's the same guy who claims to own La Malediccio.
What? He owns the painting and Vera Security? He has to be the one behind this whole scam.
You're telling me? We have to be sure.
What the?
I cannot sleep on that bed. It is too soft.
Josh, this is Senor Marquez.
Nice to meet you.
So you are this George, huh?
Senor Marquez is staying in the apartment across the hall. Apparently, he's the real owner of La Malediccio.
What? I thought you said Medovsky was the owner.
Senor Marquez claims the painting was stolen from his family during the Spanish Civil War.
Really? Do you have any proof?
Senor Marquez, could you show him the photograph?
Who is this?
My father. When they came for us in 38, I fled with my mother. But my father was not so lucky.
How can we prove this is you as a child?
The dates would tie up, George.
Who's this?
My mother, a good woman, a saint.
That's definitely La Malediccio hanging on the wall?
It belonged to my family, so it belongs to me.
If the painting really was stolen during the 1930s, then this Medovsky guy has no legitimate claim to it. But how can I be sure that you're the boy in that picture?
I can prove it. Look at my father in the photograph. You see the medallion he's wearing? He gave it to me just before he died. This medallion has been in our family for hundreds of years.
It's definitely the same medallion. A snake eating its own tail. That's also on the painting.
It is the Ouroboros.
The what?
The Ouroboros. It is a sign of my people, my family, my faith. The Gnostics. My father was a Gnostic leader. La Malediccio is sacred to the Gnostics. Hence they both display the Ouroboros.
A priest I met said the painting was the devil's work. A thing of evil.
Ha! He would say that. Do not believe all you hear from the church. Whatever you think, the painting is mine.
If Marquez was the true owner of Malediccio, then Medovsky had no legal claim to it. Might be tough to prove, but if I could, we wouldn't have to pay out on the insurance. So, if the painting belongs to you, how did Medovsky get it?
The fascists stole it. It went to Madrid, then Berlin, then, after the war, to Moscow. After that, it was lost, until now.
We need to talk to this Medovsky, but how do we find him? Hey, Nico?
Yes, George?
What do we know about this Medovsky?
Ronnie said he was dangerous. He claims to be the owner.
And appears to be the boss of Vera. Now that kind of figures. The best way to steal something is to get hired to look after it. But why steal a painting?
We need to talk to...
To do that, So let's go over what we know about the thief.
Okay, well...
And his helmet had Waterloo Motors across it.
Not a lot to go on.
Why would somebody...
Insurance scam? But...
I get the impression that Henri was somehow involved. I found the gun that Henri was shot with at Vera.
If Medovsky owns Vera Security...
Well, it can't be Annette, but she has to be involved. You said the thief had a tattoo?
On his arm, it was a skull and crossbones with headhunters written around it.
We need to track down Waterloo Motors.
Have you tried the internet?
I've been kind of busy.
Okay, let's have a look. Waterloo Station, Battle of Waterloo, Waterloo Kebabs, Waterloo Sunset. Ah, here we go. Waterloo Motors. It's a garage in London. I'll send the number to your phone.
Nico?
Yes?
Here's the proof that Henri was involved in the robbery.
Interesting.
I'm pretty surprised this cookie's held up.
Gotta work on this.
What do you think of this, Nico?
I don't know.
Hey, Nico, have I introduced you to Trevor?
Oh, get that.
This paperclip is bound to come.
Well, you've surprised me before, George.
What do you think of this, Nico?
I don't know. Do you think it might be...
Smell this.
Oh, zut alors. I had an uncle who used to wear that. Maman told me to...
Do you want to borrow these clippers?
Word of advice, George. Never say that on a first date.
I'm convinced that Annette knows more than she's...
Of course. But she's probably... Ronnie said that...
The theft...
We'll get to the bottom.
So, Waterloo...
Yes, I...
Waterloo Motors.
Hi,
How can I help you?
my name is George Stobart. I'm investigating a murder that was committed here in Paris.
What's that got to do with us?
The guy we're looking for was wearing a helmet with Waterloo Motors on it.
Oh, yeah. It's a very popular helmet.
I don't suppose you know who might have bought one?
Well, not unless you've got any more information, mate.
The killer had a tattoo on his arm. It said, Headhunters.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he bought one of our helmets just the other day.
Terrific. Do you know his name?
Nah. He brings his boss's Merc here to have it serviced. Word to the wise, though. I hear he don't mess about. The car's registered on Dutchy Street, if there's any help. I mean, that's all I know, mate, sorry.
No, that's more than enough. You've been a great help. Thanks for your time.
See ya.
Bingo.
Good work. That has to be the guy. And now we've got his address.
How about a trip to London?
I thought you'd never ask. Senor Marquez, will you...
The bed is uncomfortable, but it will do. Come back.
London cabbies. Gotta love them.
This is the place. Here on the right. To afford a place like this in London, you've got to be good at something. So, we clear on how we're going to do this?
Yeah, we're two insurance investigators, see? We finagle our way inside, butter Madovsky up, and then get the dirt on him, right?
Finagle?
Yeah, finagle. You remember how to finagle, don't you, Nico?
George, how could I ever forget?
Good, because I suspect we're gonna need major league fanoodling to get in this one.
You got it. Ah. No answer. Excuse me? Hello?
On your bike, darling. This is a private residence.
We're here to see Mr. Madovsky.
So?
We have important business with Mr. Madovsky.
And who the hell might you be?
I'm Nico Callar, and this is my colleague, George Stobart.
Well, isn't that cozy? Can you count, darling?
Yes, of course.
Well then, 1, I don't know you or Laughing Boy here from Adam. 2, you ain't got no business round here. And 3, I don't like French birds. Comprenez?
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
I don't suppose...
Maybe you didn't hear me. Get lost.
Hey, Josh.
What's up?
Seriously, how are we... According to Ronnie,
Coming from Ronnie?
if Medov...
We need to be careful.
I use my...
Exact.
Hi.
What are you...
Do you work for Mr...
No, I'm standing here pruning his edges. Look, will you stop asking all these blooming questions?
I had tried the intercom once. Ronnie wouldn't have been too pleased to hear that I would... It was a bush, but was it art? It was Topiar here. Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
Nice bush.
Bush? This is so much more...
Oh, I am sorry.
It's art, love. Or to be precise, topiary. And as everybody knows...
Topiary is a...
That's right. A statement of man's dominance. A metaphor for the human
And yet,
It's not enough,
not for the big
life, death.
right and wrong.
Tell me about it.
You struggle.
Day and night.
That is the human
Can we ever escape?
It is possible.
I see.
It is our only salvation.
Well, you've given me food for thought, you have.
Anytime.
Much appreciated. Had a difficult time.
You are welcome.
So, anyway. What do you think?
It's a... eagle?
Result. Get in there, my son. Yes, it's a... You spotted it straight off. I owe you one, lady. You have got that rare...
No, please. We have important business with...
I need a good reason to bother the boss with this.
I understand.
What makes what you have to...
La Maledictio. A painting that belongs... If he wants his insurance claim processed quickly, then he'll... I think he might be annoyed if he finds out you never even told him.
Okay, okay. Hang on, I'll phone him now. Yeah, Mr. Medovsky? French bird. Yes, boss. Right, I will do. You've piqued the boss's interest. That isn't always a good thing. The gate should be open. I'll take you inside. Follow me, please. Mr. Medovsky will be right with you, madame.
Well, we're in. Now what?
We'll make him think we're all set to pay up. See if we can get him to...
Welcome, welcome.
Good day, monsieur. My name is Nico.
You are here to discuss La Malediccio, yes?
Correct.
I am surprised to see. My agreement with the gallery specified that my ownership should be... It would appear that agreement...
A man has been...
An agreement.
A life has been lost and a painting stolen, monsieur.
Bravely put, Miss Collard. So be it. I will cooperate.
How did you come into possession of La Malediccio?
I purchased it at auction.
We have reason to believe that the theft was an inside job.
Oh, that is terrible. The staff at the gallery were so pleasant to deal with, but such is human nature. I trust this won't delay the insurance claim.
I'm sure matters will be sorted out soon. Did you know Henri, the gallery owner?
Oh, purely on a professional basis. My restorer recommended his gallery to me.
Did you ever meet him personally?
No, only via email. I rarely fly. I'm carbon neutral, you know.
Very conscientious, monsieur.
Well, the planet won't save itself.
Do you have receipts for the painting?
Of course. I have already sent them to your office.
These things take time to process.
What is there to process? I own the painting, someone stole it, and your company provided me with insurance. I am the victim here.
A state you share with the deceased, monsieur. What connection do you have to Vera Security?
I've never heard of it.
There is strong evidence that ties you to Vera Security.
Oh, you are beginning to sound like a policeman, madame.
We are merely doing our jobs, monsieur. We must leave no stone unturned.
I would leave this particular stone unturned, if I were you.
I'd rattled him, but I didn't want to push too hard. Of course. We will check our information again.
I would do that.
Your restorer, how does he fit into all this?
Hobbs? Well, he did a little cleaning work on La Malediccio, that's all. I think that's enough for now. When do you expect the claim to be paid out?
It will not be long, monsieur.
When exactly? Surely you can give me a date.
Monsieur Medovsky, I'm sure you...
Please excuse the interruption, sir.
What is it, Shears?
Hobbs is here.
Tell him I'm busy.
He mentioned the portfolio, sir.
For pity's sake, can he not just follow simple instructions? Please excuse me for a moment.
The gardener's called Shears?
Yeah, probably not what his mother christened him.
What a creep.
Very clever creep at that. We got nothing on it.
He just brushed. We need something else. I could use my...
Yeah, it's just one man's word against him.
So what else can we...
Let's take a look around. Maybe...
Good idea, George. You search.
It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. The catch had snapped. The catch had snapped. It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. The paperclip just flexed and slipped off the catch. Sadly, the catch would have been too thick to cut. The wood would have been too weak.
Can you hear what they're saying?
Yes.
You should not have turned up here, Mr. Hobbs. I made it clear I would deliver the package later today.
I wanted to make sure it got to me all right. I've got a lot of work to do on it.
This is most inconvenient.
Medovsky's arguing with his visitor. Oh,
That portfolio... I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. I didn't know... If I'd been able to remember the layout of a U.S. keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. ASD... Medovsky had an... The 7 Secrets of Leadership, 2009. Medovsky and Lim. What kind of guy hangs a picture?
the kind who will commit murder in...
It was a Russian. I wondered why Medovsky. Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. I picked up the business card. It read, Wilfred Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. I made a note of the address. Then I put the card back where I'd found it. No point arousing Medovsky's suspicions. The note read, L. Serp drawings for you to check. W.H. Now we're cooking with gas. I wondered if the painting could be in the portfolio. See a penny, pick it up, then all day. It looked rather... I suspected the metal... It was a thank you note from a British... But everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. Everything was in 18... It seems Armadovsky has friends in low places.
It's like my boss said.
By extraordinary good fortune, was the perfect shape to... Romanovs. The same brand of cigarettes that were in the ashtray in Vera's security. Keys are always useful. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a U.S. It was locked. The study door's open now. Hear anything else interesting?
Hang on.
Listen, Hobbs, just take the portfolio and do your work. You are nervous, and I don't like that.
Understood. I have got a few questions, though.
I do not like questions either. Hurry up.
I noticed a couple of people arriving. Who were they? They look like coppers.
They were from the insurance company.
Has the...
Hobbs is going to head off with the portfolio. Whatever's in there is important. We need to stay with it.
I got Hobbs' address from his card. When we're done here, we should check it out.
Okay, Josh, but hurry. Medovsky will be back soon.
I'm going to check out the study.
Okay.
Wow, there must be millions of dollars worth of art on these walls. The drawer was open. My heart skipped a beat. But inside, I saw only a candy bar wrapper. These paintings would have kept a critic enraptured for hours, but I didn't have time to dwell. The desk was magnificent. The chair was fancy and probably more expensive than it looked. Filthy habit. Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge. A secret drawer popped open. I knew that publication date would be significant. At last, I was going to discover Medovsky's secrets. It certainly wasn't Medovsky's sock. Hey, Nico! Come see this!
I think we've struck gold.
Hang on, I'm coming.
Look, a letter from a guy called Gainan. His company, Wolfram, want to purchase La Maledizio. They're offering way over the asking price.
Anything connecting Medovsky to Vera?
Well, let's see. Here we go. A lease for Vera's security.
Aha! Then we have the proof we need.
Hang on, what's this? Expenses for a Mr. Shears. Waterloo Motors, one helmet. These are from Paris. Madame La Trex. Hotel Britannique. Pizza. Nico. Pizza. I think your friend Shears might just be Henri's killer.
Georges, what have we got ourselves into? I just heard the front door close. Medovsky's coming. Put everything back in order, quick!
Right. He'll never suspect we just ransacked his house for evidence.
Georges, the coin!
Damn, no time. Look cool, Nico. I'll handle this.
I apologize for the lengthy wait. As you can imagine, my time is at a premium.
That's fine, Mr. Medovsky. I think we're almost finished anyway.
And payment?
Very soon, monsieur. Very soon.
Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Nice collection of medals you have there, Mr.
I earned them serving
Anywhere interest?
Chechnya. Ever?
No, can't say I've had the pleasure.
Is that a first edition of War and...
Of course. Printed in 1869. And Tolstoy is the master.
Is that a picture?
A deeply wonderful man.
Well, he certainly left quite... So, what brought you into the...
Oh, an eye for great artists. An appreciation of fine...
You must be upset at the...
Yes, and disappointed.
So this Hobbs guide...
No, we simply have a... We've been through this. Now please, if you're quite fit.
Thank you for your time, Monsieur Medovsky.
Well, no prizes for guessing where we go now.
Hobbs' place, right?
Got it in one. Medovsky's pretty shady, don't you?
He bought our act, though. You make a pretty...
Yeah, would have thought.
By the time he realizes we're not assessing his claim...
Here's hoping. Looks like rain.
Come on, let's get that cab. Taxi!
I think we just stepped off the London tourist trail.
I guess this Hobbs character doesn't like visitors.
Not the kind of place you'd expect to find a restorer of old masters.
Unless you didn't want to attract attention.
He's attracted ours. Let's see what...
And let's try and get a look inside.
The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van.
Slasha. I decided to leave...
Not a sound. The horn was... I popped open the van's hood. The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. A loose wire hung from the left-hand horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the wires from the cab. I needed a better... It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else. A loose wire hung... It was the van battery. I needed to hook this up. A bundle of short, severed wires was connected to the battery. None of the wires were connected to anything. It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it. The large dumpster... Piles of junk. Most mixed in were wires. George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave the...
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clear... Now, I require...
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered.
And... That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is...
You got... I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
It was Hobbs's mailbox. There was a note hanging out. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. It... I decided to open... Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and some of which still carry the death sentence and certain less interesting. This could come in useful. Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid, unless I had a great reason to do so. Climbing unless I had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire. The engine bay was a mess. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. A bundle of short... The horn wasn't working. A bundle of short... I used the wire to join the battery to the horn. The horn wasn't working. A loose wire hung from the right-hand horn. There was already a wire connected to that terminal. I used the wire to join the battery to the horn. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay. Many of the wires seemed to lead no... I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. A loose wire hung. If I had some spare cable... I snipped the wire. I connected the wires from the... The wire was just long enough to connect the... Everything was wired up. There was definitely someone. I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs. Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friend.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud.
Sorry.
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up. About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly pock floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio.
Hey, I'm still...
A variety of liquor.
Hi, what do you think you do?
Oh, sorry.
I know. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio.
Sorry.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years. I turned the volume up a few notches. I turned the volume down again. I turned the volume up a few notches. I didn't want to play it. Those days are long gone. But I wondered who...
My, if it isn't George Stobart.
Lady Piedmont. Oh, my. You're...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered, choking on lavender.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was... How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Not bad if I do. Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuit...
Sorry. I turned the... Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heat.
I'll see what I...
George, sweetheart.
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage. A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George.
How did you come to be...
Wheresoever a bohemian needs a helping hand, George. And what better way to help than to expose one's flesh to the sensuous...
Do you know anything about a store?
Oh, is this enough? Shh. My heart's a tremor, George. Do you think Wilf is mixed up with...
Maybe, but I need you to act normal.
Mum's the word.
Can you keep a secret?
I am the very...
You see that portfolio? We need to take a...
Be still, my beating heart. Just...
So what have you been up to since our last encounter, lady?
Charity work.
Oh, any...
Young men, George. So many have lost their way.
That's all for now. It was a ship.
Oh, you! Get down from there!
Blowing the power would certainly just... But the elevator alone wasn't going to... A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George. I'm all ears. How can I help?
Lady Piermont,
How thrilling! Oh, but... Is this good?
perfect. Now was my chance. It was one of Hobbs' sketches. More of Hobbs' sketches. The model looked familiar. Impressionist sketches. Well, it wasn't La Malediccio, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the image in the center. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were...
So, you're not
No, Mr.
Well, you can't be a copper, you know. So what the blazes are you doing?
We're investigating the theft of a painting, La Malediccio, by the Spanish artist. One of these sketches is a study...
Well, sure, but what's that got to do with that? I've got nought to do with what happened after that painting. How was I to know it was going to get Henri?
Hang on a second. How do you...
Look, he and I went back a long way. Le Lézard Bleu was on the ropes, so I got... Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
We're not accusing you of anything, Mr. Hobbs.
I get that, and I'll help you however I can.
How come you needed to make so many...
Restoration's not about throwing a load of paint around. The surface is a complicated painting, a lot of subtext.
Why would anyone want to steal La Malediccio?
True, but there is something special. There's conviction in every brushstroke. Whoever else, the symbolism is deep.
We have reason to believe that Medovsky...
Eh? What would he gain from...
We have strong evidence that Medovsky...
You'll have a hard time proving that. Medovsky has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces its legitimate ownership all the way...
Why didn't Medovsky make...
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them.
And Henri is...
So ask his...
Lane?
Lane, yeah. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for... And you're wasting my time if you're not... Go get the provenance from Lane, and everything will...
But it also puts Marquez's story...
Not my problem, Dad. Now both of you, get lost.
And we have a crit...
Someone's lying, but who?
Is it the gangster or the old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medovsky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I can put the squeeze...
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. These stories...
Taxi!